An Eristic person is an argumentative person. They are annoying, they are grating, they are irritating because they are always arguing. They are controversial. Yes. Without regard for the truth or intellectual pursuit. You argue because you like to argue, not because you want truth. This is something that goes contrary to the scholastic method. It involves using deceptive or fallacious tactics that undermine an opponent's argument rather than engaging in genuine dialogue or seeking a collaborative resolution. Eristic is a form of intellectual dishonesty that prioritizes winning and personal gain over the pursuit of knowledge or the search for truth. Often it's designed to prevent you from finding certain knowledge, from finding certain truths. It wants to force an idea down your throat using rhetoric. These are all things that we need to bear in mind as we start to build on this, because you will start to see how and why this is important. Often characterized with the use of ad hominem attacks, logical fallacies, and manipulation, rather than giving you substantive evidence or thoughtful reasoning. Captious is the tendency or disposition to find fault, to nitpick, to raise objections over trivial matters. It is overly critical thinking. It is nitpicking, finding fault on everything. So someone is looking for reasons to criticize or dispute even when not warranted or insubstantial. Captious individuals will find flaws or weaknesses in others' arguments, in their statements, in their actions, often in a very, nitpicking, argumentative manner, looking for something, anything to attack. It also describes someone who is excessively meticulous or pedantic in their approach, focusing on minor details, minor discrepancies. They're looking at the leaves missing the forest. Now, Gorgias, this guy, the nihilist. Gorgias said nothing exists. Even if something exists, nothing can be known about it. And even if something can be known about it, nothing about it can be communicated to others. I see I just made a typo. Let me go and fix that typo. Oh, knowledge about it can't be. Oops, that was my bad. Actually, that was correct. Yeah, so let me just read. Yeah, nothing exists. Even if something exists, nothing can be known about it. And even if something can be known about it, knowledge about it cannot be communicated to others. That is an incredibly negative view of the world, a completely nihilistic view of the world. Every time you're reading, different people pop up in the head that match these descriptions perfectly. That's good to know, Pedro. As long as I'm hitting a point, and making you think on this. So his perspective reflects a skeptical and what's called a relativistic view, suggesting that our understanding of reality is limited and that objective truth is inaccessible. And there are several major critiques of this. Wait, isn't making the argument of logical fallacies relying, qualifying philosophy? Yeah, it's amazing how they'll use logic to disprove logic. Crazy, huh? So, incoherence. Gorgias' stance is self-defeating and logically inconsistent. So by claiming that nothing exists and that knowledge and communication are impossible, he seems to undermine his own argument, as the act of making these assertions implies the existence of something and the possibility of communication. So instead, it's incoherent. He's not trying to make sense. He's trying to confuse you. He's trying to undermine truth at all costs. Relativism. Gorgias' skepticism and emphasis on the limitations of knowledge is an extreme form of relativism, leading to a nihilistic perspective. And when I get to Pius X, you're going to see this again. This comes up again. And all perspectives become equally valid or invalid. This undermines the possibility of rational discourse and objective understanding. You cannot weigh things and look at their objective value and say this is better than that. There is, because, nothing exists, right? Even Gorgias doesn't exist. Practical implications. His philosophy has negative practical consequences. So by denying the existence of anything and dismissing the value of knowledge and communication, this leads to apathy, indifference. This is often called indifferentism, which is something that happened, of course, during the Enlightenment and afterwards, and this was a problem for the church. And also a lack of engagement with the world, which is kind of what the Gnostics did. It discourages efforts to seek truth, to pursue knowledge, and communicate effectively with others. It causes disruption. It is destructive, it is toxic, it is corrosive. Can you see where this is the start, this is the beginning, and this is tied very much into what atheists do, and we're going to find it is part of this synthesis of all heresies, and we're going to find it inside Protestantism too, sadly. Denial of empirical evidence. Gorgias' skepticism challenges the notion of empirical evidence as a valid basis for knowledge and understanding. Empirical observation and evidence plays a crucial role in our understanding of reality. So by his dismissal, his philosophy is unrealistic and disconnected from the world. Yeah. So it's amazing. You can't know anything about the world. It's not possible to communicate it. But yeah, here he is. It's like postmodernism, isn't it, Andrew? Doesn't it just sound like postmodernism? Isn't that odd? The same old bad ideas come back, right? So philosophy is unrealistic and disconnected from the world. That's what he's saying. We are disconnected from the world. In other words, you're living in your head and only your personal experience is valid. You're an island, and we'll see how this idea gets played out, because some of these ideas develop over time and they change as different people add different ideas to them, they mix their own ideas, but we'll see the same. Now, Hans-Georg Gadamer says nothing exists except through language. And that's actually a very profound point. That's actually a very, very interesting point. He's a philosopher. So he's a German philosopher that argued, now he tells us logos, the word, is critical. He said that language plays a crucial role in our understanding and experience of reality. His statement that nothing exists except through language can be understood in the context of his hermeneutic philosophy. We'll discuss the word hermeneutic later, which focuses on the interpretation of texts and the understanding of meaning. So he emphasizes the significant influence of language on our perception and interpretation. Language shapes what we see, whether we see it or not, whether we value it or not, whether we perceive it, right? How we perceive it, how we interpret it, how we respond to it. Language has a massive impact on our thinking, on our culture. So he argues that language is not merely a tool for communication, but it shapes our understanding of reality itself. According to Gadamer, language is not a neutral medium that conveys meaning, but it is an active force that shapes and constitutes our experience and knowledge. The logos. Do you understand the importance of the word and why these sophists, why these atheists, why these philosophers all want to corrupt the word? All of them corrupt the word, right? The word became flesh. The word, the logos is so important. Gadamer believed that our understanding of the world is always mediated through language. How do you communicate your knowledge of the world? Through language. How do you describe to yourself? Through language. So language frames our thoughts, our concepts, and our interpretations. It enables us to make sense of the world. If our language is corrupted, if our grammar is corrupted, if our understanding is corrupted, our understanding of the world is corrupted, and our description to others of the world is corrupted. That's why we need precise language. In this sense, he suggests that without language, nothing can be understood or known. So yeah, how do we learn the truth? Through the logos. The logos came into the world. So, I mean, you work it out. You connect them. Thems are fighting words, cuckold, label not present in other cultures. Interesting. So, nothing exists. So the cats I rent to people don't. No, they don't.